Joe Riley with National Drug Screening. I'm here today to talk to you about random drug and alcohol testing. Now, for companies regulated by the United States Department of Transportation, or DOT, random testing is required. For companies not regulated by DOT, random testing is a good idea because it provides a deterrent to illicit drug use in your workplace. So how do random testing programs work? Well, there's two types that we call, number one, a standalone program, and that's just your company and your safety-sensitive employees that are in the random testing pool. So if you have 25 drivers, for example, you have 25 drivers in that random testing pool. Now, DOT regulations require that you do 50% random testing for drugs and 10% random drug testing for alcohol. So over the course of the year with those 25 drivers, you would have to do 13 drug tests and you'd have to do at least 3 alcohol tests. Now, typically you spread out that testing reasonably over the year, over the calendar year, and the best way to do that is quarterly. Now, if perhaps you're a seasonal business, you might do it 3 times a year as opposed to quarterly. Now, random testing has to be done with a scientifically valid method, like a computer system that's designed to randomly select your employees for random testing. At National Drug Screening, we have a robust web portal and computer system to do the scientifically valid random testing. You can't just put the names in a hat and pull some out. That's not scientifically valid random testing. So what happens is you send us a list of all your employees that are subject to the random testing. We upload that list into our system. We do that each quarter before we do selections because we want your list of employees that we have in our system subject to the random testing. We want that list to be valid and up to date. We don't want to randomly select someone that you fired 2 months ago. So every quarter before we do the random selections, we request a list from you, an updated list of who are the current employees in your company subject to random testing. If you're a trucking company, that would be the drivers that you have. Now, the second way that we do random testing is through what's called a consortium program. A consortium program is a grouping of small companies, and we group your employees together in a larger consortium random testing pool. So for example, if you're an owner-operator, you're only one person, it's pretty hard to do 50% drug testing of one person. So owner-operators are actually required by the DOT to enter into a random consortium. National Drug Screening runs and operates a large national consortium of not only owner-operator drivers, but other small trucking companies. So maybe you have 2 drivers, maybe you have 5 drivers, maybe you have 10 drivers. Any of those companies can join our consortium, and let's say, for example, we have 2,000 drivers in that consortium. Over the course of the year, we have to do 1,000 drug tests, over the course of a year, and we have to do 200 alcohol tests. So 50% for drug testing and 10% for alcohol testing. So now once we get those lists from all those members of the consortium, and every quarter we get them uploaded into our system then sends you a notice of who's been selected. Now, if you're a company with 2 or more drivers, we're going to send a notice to the designated employer representative, the DER, the person in charge of the random testing program. Your job is to notify drivers that they've been selected, but very important, once you notify them, they have to go right away for testing. The regulations actually state that upon notification, the driver must cease all other activities and go immediately for testing. So immediate means immediate. It doesn't mean this afternoon, and it doesn't mean tomorrow, or it doesn't mean within 24 hours. So as a DER, if we send you the random selection list, let's say in the second week of the quarter, you have to the end of that quarter to notify and get those drivers on your list tested. Now, in a larger company, you might be notifying the supervisors, and the supervisors might be notifying the individual drivers. It's important to educate everyone that random testing should be a surprise. It should be unannounced. And once the driver is notified or the employee is notified, the random testing must be immediate. They must immediately go for random testing. Now, with owner-operators, there's not a DER, there's not a designated employer representative in charge of the program. So with owner-operators, we don't send you the list of who's been selected because you're the only one on it. So we call you. We call you in the morning and we tell you you've been selected. And that means you have to go for testing today. Because remember, the regulations state that upon notification in the random testing program, you have to go immediately. So we'll let you know were you selected for drug test, were you selected for alcohol test, were you selected for both. And over the phone, we'll work with you. Where are you located so that we can find a facility for you to get your drug test done or your drug and alcohol test done. So very important, whether you're an owner-operator or whether you're a driver for a company with multiple drivers, once you're selected for random testing and once you're notified, the important point there is once you're notified, you have to go immediately for that random test. That process basically repeats itself every quarter. And at the end of the year, we've got to make those numbers to be in compliance with the DOT. Because you can have an audit or you can have an inspection the following year. And if you didn't meet your numbers, you're out of compliance and you can face violations, you can face penalties, and it will cost you money and it will cost you aggravation. So you want to be in compliance and you want to use a professional company to help you manage your random testing program. We do that here at National Drug Screening. We're here to help you. We're here to keep you in compliance. So give us a call or visit our website, www.nationaldrugscreening.com.